Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hot Topics with Mad Church Disease, where we dive into stories making headlines and shaking up the world right now. I'm your humble host and servant, Marcellus McMillan, and I want to welcome you to today's program. Now, tonight we've got a lineup packed with justice, triumph, and scandal. And we're also going to talk a little bit about legacy. So, of course, you don't want to miss this show. Now, our main story tonight is going to land us in Texas, where the heat around Gateway Church just keeps rising. Cindy Clemishire, if you don't know this, has filed a $1 million defamation lawsuit against the church. She is now claiming that they tried to discredit and silence her after she spoke out. And I'm just going to simply say, just based on that story and what we've learned about that story, I kind of feel like she's on her way to $1 million. Former elders have moved quickly to get the case thrown out, but the judge, Emily Tobolsky, is not having it. She denied their attempt, clearing the way for the lawsuit to continue to move forward. All of this comes as Gateway Church is already reeling from a high-profile investigation and the sudden exit of their founding pastor, Robert Morris. We're digging into what these courtroom clashes could mean for one of America's most influential mega churches and what that's going to reveal about power, transparency, and so many other things. Then, of course, I'm going to shift gears literally, and we're going to go straight to Daytona Beach, Florida, where history has been made across the finish line. The one and only Michael Jordan. Whether you know this or not, I didn't happen to know this. Michael Jordan has a racing team. He has took a monumental win, making a defining moment for Black ownership in the world of NASCAR. So for all you people that hated the fact that we, are getting into all of these different places and spaces, I just want to say howdy and welcome. We're here for you. But the victory, I'm so goofy. I tell you, I cracked my own self up. But the victory lane doesn't really stop there, you guys, because Jordan and his team have also resolved a major antitrust lawsuit with NASCAR. The case has really challenged how the sport has structured and what it gets and what it considers fair and a fair shot at when you start to compete. We're going to break all of that down, his success on the track as well as the courtroom. And we are going to talk about the fact that he is reshaping the landscape of racing. That is amazing. And finally, tonight, we're going to pause and reflect on the life, the legacy, the towering figure in American history. The Reverend Jesse Jackson, the civil rights icon, has passed away at the age of 84. He leaves behind a lifetime of activism that helped shape the moral conscience of our country, and we most certainly want to honor him. He marched along Dr. Martin Luther King, the side of Dr. King, as well as to running for president, to negotiating hostages and advocating for the poor. Jesse Jackson spent decades on the front line demanding justice, voting rights, economic equality, as well as dignity for all marginalized people. We'll look at the movements he helped lead, the doors that he helped open, and the challenge his legacy leaves for us all to keep pushing for more just and equitable society. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about all of these things tonight. Faith on trial, engines at full throttle, and a movement that refuses to die. If you thought that African Americans were going to continue to take and give up on Dr. King's dream, you have another thing coming. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Please make sure that you hit the like button. Please make sure that you share this broadcast out, because I didn't send out the email blast. So just make sure that you guys hit the like button and we shall get ourselves started. Welcome to the Mad Church Disease channel, a channel dedicated to our forgotten brothers and sisters throughout the ages. Want to stay connected to me and the Mad Church Disease community? Well, then join our email community newsletter. Stay in the know with all the updates and fresh content that is created for this channel. It's time you join the private community for the revolutionary family, where we can talk and laugh all in a space that's safe with a no judgment zone. Connect with other members and build lasting friendships. The doors are now open. Want to stay connected and be notified each time I go live? Subscribe to the text community and be notified each time that we go live. Simply add your details for instant updates on all our lives. Are you a budding YouTuber or business professional who would like my thoughts on all things business related? Book a free 15-minute consultation where I can help with social media, YouTube, web design, and so much more. Book your consultation now and build your future. Get away from the rat race and build your business. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mad Church Disease Podcast. I'm your humble host and servant, Marcellus McMillan. Thank you guys for joining me on tonight. Shout out to all of the members. Shout out to all of the subscribers. Hey, CC, good to see you with me on tonight. Shout out to Darlene. Shout out to Fred Samuel. Shout out to Beauty for Ashes. G. Stewart, thank you so much for joining me here on today. Sister Bia, thank you so very much. Lynn Pearson, thank you so very much. Oh, I skipped over Integrity Matters. Thank y'all so very much. One of the things that I've been thinking about today, just a side note, I should have got them bifocals that the darn optometrist recommended. I should have got them darn bifocals. But anyway, let's keep going. Shout out to Lynn Pearson. Shout out to Renee. Shout out to you as well. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us. Darlene, I think I said that, as well as my cousin Domesticated Me. Hey, cousin, good to see you here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mad Church Disease channel. Today, we're just going to talk about a couple of trending topics, and I'm going to go. You guys know that I normally do my trending topics in the morning, but today I just decided to stay in the bed. I've been resting. I'm just not gonna lie, because I got some other things that I'm working on. So I got up a little late today, and I just decided, you know what? I'm not gonna put no pressure on myself. If people, watch the program, they can of course watch the replay if they decide to do so. We're just gonna keep going, and we're gonna keep doing what we're doing. Shout out to the 50 of you guys that are here, and shout out to the 27 of you who have already hit the like button. Thank y'all so very much. Now, this is going to be a laid back show. So welcome to Trending Topics. Today, we, of course, are going to be dealing with all of the topics that I aforementioned before we started in the broadcast today. I just want to, first of all, thank all of the subscribers and the members of the Mad Church Disease channel. I want to say thank you to every single one of you. I am grateful. I am so thankful that you guys have supported this program. As long as you guys have supported this program, you guys know we're one of these channels that are not afraid to address abuse issues in the institutional church. And we talk about a myriad of topics over here. And so I just thank you. And we just don't even talk about abuse just only in church, but we talk about abuse straight across the board. So it doesn't matter whether you're inside of the church or outside of the church. We, of course, deal with all of those things. So I'm just really grateful for all of you joining me on today. I think today's show is going to be one of these shows where we most certainly are most certainly going to be it's going to be very, very good. I'm just going to put it that way. If you're new to the Mad Church Disease channel, ladies and gentlemen, and you want to keep up with all things Mad Church Disease, please make sure that you subscribe to the Mad Church Disease newsletter. I want you guys to go ahead and do that. There'll be a link in the description of this video, or if you find us on our YouTube channel at Mad Church Disease, one word, you can actually click on the link that is in the description of our program, and that will get you over to subscribe to our email newsletter. Most of you know we are still waiting for government approval for our text message system, and so we're waiting on that. We're going to see whether or not they approve it, disapprove it, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm waiting on that, because you guys know we're trying to take control of our stuff. So I appreciate every single one of y'all, and thank y'all so very much for your support. If you are a supporter of the Mad Church Disease channel, I am asking that everybody today, please make sure that you support us with at least $10. We ask for at least 10 people to give at least $10 to our program. That help us to cover really all of the things that we do, and trying to make sure that we we stay up to date on all of our stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a $290 bill that is actually coming due here. Plus, for those of you that do know, I upgraded some equipment here on the channel. That's what afforded me the ability to do that nice intro that you just heard. But I want all of you, if you can, to make sure that you support the program. Shout out to Darlene. Darlene is the first person who supported our program tonight. Thank you, Darlene. We just need 9 more of you guys to support the broadcast, and that will, of course, help us and make sure that we meet our goal. And all of that information is listed for you. Now, if you use PayPal or Venmo or Chime or any of those other options, just know I typically will call your name in another show because I don't always, I can't see those things right away on my phone. The notifications don't always come straight through for those. So for those of you that are supporting, just know that. So I will, of course, mention your name at a later point in time. All right. All right. So thank y'all so much for joining me for Hot Topics today. It means a lot to me that you guys are joining me. Now, let's just talk a little bit about some stuff. Shout out to the 67 of you guys that are joining me. And now I've got 37 likes. Y'all doing good today. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate that. Let me tell you something. Let's talk a little bit about the channel before I continue. You guys know I am one of these channels who speaks about a lot of church drama, a lot of church abuse, and a lot of things that go on in the institutional church. This is a channel, as I have stated to you guys on numerous occasions, that is dedicated to our forgotten brothers and sisters who stepped out of the safe bounds of institutional Christianity to simply tell the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a passion of mine to make sure that individuals who do not have a voice can have a voice. If you're unfamiliar with this channel, I want you to understand. It doesn't matter whether you're black, white, bi, tri, gay, straight, whatever that may be. I wanted to have a platform and I wanted to have a place where every single person is welcomed and they are received, and we can actually have intelligent conversations around these topics. So often, so many people are not able to come to the table of meeting to actually discuss topics like this, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to know, I take it not lightly, that, you know, the only thing that I've ever asked God to do, and I've shared this with some of you before, I never asked God to be famous. I never asked God for money. I ain't never asked him for none of that stuff. The only thing, when I prayed about this channel and doing this type of work, the only thing that I asked God for was to give me a voice. And I believe to the 21,000, we're headed to 22,000 people who subscribe to this channel, have given me the opportunity to have this voice. Vigorously, I work tirelessly to make sure that I do my work on a level and a scale that is going to make sure that you can trust the voice that you hear on this program. Nothing is going to be any different, and I'm going to continue to do my work. And so God bless all of you that are subscribing, and thank y'all so very much. Now, before we get into tonight's story, because if you guys know, if you come over here, I always give you guys extra topics. I don't always put it on the thumbnail. I don't always tell everybody every single thing that we're going to talk about. So surprise, surprise. Guess what? I want to talk about something. Listen here, ladies and gentlemen, Donnie Swaggart has come out in defense of Barack Obama. Do you think this covers all of the things that he has said in the past? Now you take a listen.
You will probably remember this, but we were made aware of a post that our president made presenting some of the Democratic leaders in a very unflattering light. Do you know what I'm talking about? That was wrong.
Y'all know the delayed clap there? That clap was mighty delayed, wasn't it? And the reason why that clap was mighty delayed, because Donnie has been one of these people who have said a lot of incendiary remarks regarding blacks as well as Democrats, right? Donnie has said some horrible things about Democrats. You all remember that during the election time, he went after the Church of God in Christ and J. Drew Sheard. You understand what I'm saying, during the whole political season. But let us continue.
If we're going to, okay. I'm ashamed at your response right now. Racism is a sin. We do not demean people on the color of their skin because they are part of a different political party.
Notice he said, now, oh God, you know, having good ears can be a problem. I must have been a mouse or something in a former life, because I tell you, my ears perk up to stuff that other people can't hear. He said, I'm gonna replay it in a minute, but God help me. You notice the second delayed claps, right? Delayed claps. Well, you know, April, the masters were making babies with black women. You know, white folks have always been around us, and you know, they're sad that they don't own us anymore. Some of them anyway. But let me just say this: you notice the delayed clap in the second half of this situation, right? I want y'all to listen to me very well. Donnie, you know, you can't say some of the things that he said in the past, because I'm sure that they're probably confused as to why they didn't clap. Donnie's one of these people that just literally, this is a shock and a surprise, if you ask me. He's one of these people who, you know, he's made a lot of crazy remarks, and he went after the Church of God in Christ. But you notice how he worded this. I want to go back for just a second. Let me go back. Let's go back.
We do not demean people on the color of their skin because they are part of a different political party.
He said, we don't demean people because of the color of their skin if they're a part of another political party. Stop right there. It shouldn't have anything to do with the political party at all. It should have everything to do with just their skin, period. But see, you can't lie and try to be, you know, and two-face it at the same time. Because let me tell you what's going to happen here in 2026 with a lot of these preachers. Some of these folks are going to get themselves exposed in greater ways, just simply, you know, messing with folks. And you're going to see in this particular situation how this progresses. Just watch this conversation. Watch this conversation.
I made a very strong post on that, and I got a lot of pushback, which I'm shocked. As a child of God and as a Christian, we do not make fun of people because of their color. And church, if you don't know that, you need to get saved.
I want to tell you something. The reason why you can hear a pin drop in this church is because of what he said in times past and his attitudes and dispositions towards black people. I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just pointing this out. And shout out to Lewis Franklin, who sent me this video. Thank you, Lewis, for sending me this. Thank you for sending me this. Because this just goes to show you how crazy these people are when they say these kinds of things, and then they get mad when you call them on the carpet. I'm just saying. But let us continue, ladies and gentlemen.
You need to come to the altar and get some things right with Jesus Christ. Black people on the basis of the color of their skin. We will not allow it in this church. We will not allow it from this pulpit. Because Christ died for every ethnicity in the whole wide world.
Well, y'all sure don't act like it over there in Louisiana. And you surely haven't been acting like it in this church for many, many years. I'm just saying, you condemned everybody to hell because they voted for a Democrat. You told everybody in the Democratic Party that we were going to hell when I was a Democrat. You told everybody that we were going to hell for voting and being a Democrat. Y'all pretty much said you couldn't be a Democrat and go to heaven. And you know that a vast majority of African Americans in this country are black. So this is a very confusing message to me, ladies and gentlemen, coming from this man.
And this church will ever be open to any person of any race. If they want to come worship, we want them. We want them. So I hope you know you don't have a pastor that's tiptoes through the tulips. If something's right, I'm going to say. If something's wrong, I'm going to stand up. I love our president, but he was dead wrong. Dead wrong.
Now, let me just simply say this, ladies and gentlemen. Was Donald Trump wrong for putting Barack and Michelle on top of on a body of a monkey? Of course he was wrong. Of course he was wrong. But was Donnie wrong when he said and condemned everybody who voted Democratic to go into hell? Yes. And the reason why the applause was delayed in your church because of that, sir, is because it is a very confusing message when on the one hand you tell people that they're all going to hell, if they vote a certain way, and then you turn around and then flip the script again. You're just confusing people, and people just don't know what to say or what to do as it relates to that. I need for everybody that's watching right now, to the 85 of you, please hit the like button. Y'all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring this up. Let me just say to you, I am so happy to be telling this story. Oh, yes, I am. You all know that anytime in America where African Americans tend to make roads or ground roads in certain sports and in certain areas, we're typically attacked. We're typically maligned. We happen to be the first still in a lot of places and spaces. Unfortunately, today in 2026, we are still having to declare we are the first of this and the first of that, and the first African American to do this and the first African American to do that. Still happening today. When we deal with race issues in America, unfortunately, so many people seem to think that we are in a post-racial society, and they do not understand that Americans, and Black Americans in particular, have continued to make ground roads, but not just for ourselves, but typically when we raise the tide, we tend to cause other boats to rise with us. That's whether you are an Asian, whether you are a white woman in this country, of any other ethnic group. In other words, if you are non-white and you live in America, 9 times out of 10, African Americans have helped to raise your status in this country. It is unfortunate that in today's society that we are still having to tell you and to make roads and let you know what I'm about to say to you. Well, I'm proud to say that Michael Jordan, the NBA Hall of Famer, and his driver, Mr. Tyler Riddick, for Michael Jordan's 2311, I believe that is the name of his racing company. I believe it's called 2311 Racing. And it says, let me give you the co-owner. You got Brad Daugherty, which is Daugherty. Y'all know I'm horrible with these names. He's also a former NBA player and co-owner of JTG Racing. Michael Jordan has pretty much won the 2026 Daytona 500, marking his first win as a NASCAR team owner. Shout out to Michael Jordan. I'm just saying, I can't speak for everybody else, but I'm just going to tell you like this. It makes me happy. I think it is a wonderful thing. And I like it. And I know there are a lot of people that, they're going to give, make all sorts of comments, but I say shout out to Michael Jordan. Okay. Now, this is the second time that a Black-owned team has won the Daytona 500. Jordan and Front Row Motorsports filed an antitrust lawsuit against NASCAR owners, alleging that they had a lack of transparency and stifled competition. They reached a court settlement in December of last year. And so that's where he is. Okay. And that's what the situation is. And let me tell you why I wanted to talk a little bit about this. I often hear people saying, African Americans will say that certain African Americans who've reached a certain financial point in life don't do enough to highlight certain Black issues and certain things. First of all, let me just say this. You never know what a person could be doing behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen. A person could be donating to Black causes. They could be buying scholarships for Black men. There's all sorts of things that people could be doing where they're not advertising it. Although we live in a society that wants to put everything on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, when you are moving in a way that is somewhat silent amongst society. A lot of people do a lot of things to help people. They just don't brag about it. Y'all understand what I'm saying? And so I need for you all to understand that I believe that this is one of these instances where Michael Jordan is moving in a way to help individuals to and raising the tide in NASCAR and sort of blurring the color line, so to speak, when it comes to that. Because when most of us think about NASCAR, we think about NASCAR as an all-white kind of situation. Now, I want you to take a look at the man's face behind Michael Jordan. Look how he's looking off to the side. Now, they just won. Can y'all see this little man's face over here? Can y'all see my mouse? Y'all can't see my mouse. Hold on, let me see if I can blow this up. Can y'all see the man with the monster shirt who's looking off to the side? Can y'all see his face? Does he look like he's happy? Does he look like he's happy that Michael Jordan is actually holding that up? Is he on the same team? That's my question. Because I think a photograph says it speaks volumes. Is this just me? You understand what I'm saying? Is it just me? He don't look too happy, do he? I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, people need to understand that Michael Jordan is doing stuff to sort of raise all ties when it comes to that sort of situation. And so I'm eternally grateful. Let me see what y'all said here, because I thought this story was pretty cool myself. That's why they mad at him, because you don't got that big old lawsuit, and now he I don't know where did you say? And you're I don't know. I don't understand what you're saying. I sort of got cut off. I don't but yeah, they got a lawsuit because they were trying to not let him in. So yeah, that was that. So yeah. There's the motive. They're all looking stupid. Yeah, I agree. Yes, sir. I'm with you. Let's go. I know that's right, Patsy. I love it too. Listen here. I don't know yet. According to my understanding, we built some pyramids and some other stuff. I'm just saying. And they still don't even they haven't figured out how we built them pyramids yet. They still don't know how we did that. I'm just saying. That's why I think if you try to take your foot off of the neck of African Americans in this country, I think that they will be relatively surprised at the things that they could accomplish. You know, if everybody was just allowed to be themselves and do what they could do. You know what I'm saying? Stephanie, I agree with you. As a fan, it's really cool. When I read this story, I was over here like, yes. Because let me tell you something. I was a little shocked at this, and I found another young lady who won, because y'all know I was complaining yesterday about the Winter Olympics. I found another woman that they says an African American who won a gold medal, and I'm sorry I don't have it right now, but maybe I'll tell y'all about that later. But I found another one, because y'all know yesterday I was complaining that we hadn't won none. They're trying to, oh yeah. Oh my God. Well, I hope he donates that money, because he don't even need $100 million. He's almost if he's not a billionaire, I think he is a billionaire. He don't even need that money, but he got $100 million. My God, from Zion. Well, that's what money will do for you, to get you a good lawsuit in that particular situation. Yeah. And you know what, Pastor Jewett, I think that that's an awesome thing. And I like highlighting these kind of stories. That's just something for me. Now, listen here, Steph, you better stop calling these people hillbillies. You know, they're going to call you the end lover. You keep talking like that. You know how they do in this country. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and you could speak more to that, cousin, because I know that you've worked with magic. And so yeah, you could speak to that on a greater level than I could possibly even do that. So I appreciate that. Let me see. He may not be on the same team. His branding is different. It looks like, well, you might be right. Stephanie says the man over here that's looking off to the side, he might not be on the same team because his branding looks a little different. Oh, he upset, boy. His face says it all. Glory be to the name of the Lord. Glory be to the name of God. Isn't that what that man say? Mr. McNutt, Lord have mercy. But they mad. They upset about Michael Jordan winning that. I'm sorry. You can tell. You can look at these people's face. You say, so you're not a fan. Oh, okay, Stephanie. I'm sorry. Stephanie said, I ain't no fan. Get it straight. Okay, Stephanie. All right. I appreciate that. That is so funny. Y'all please hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. Please do. Dariel says, and now there's another story trying to call MJ suspect for playing with the racer's son at the you know, here's what I saw that too, Dariel. I saw it. And I said I wasn't gonna listen, I was gonna, if you guys aren't subscribed to me on Facebook, you should, because that's where a lot of the engagement and I talk. Our community, the open community to the public, is on Facebook. So if you ever want to chat, you need to be over there at our Facebook page. Let me say this. Social media sucks in so many ways. You know, how do I want to word this? The smallest of things sometimes can be blown out of proportion. And they can take something that is innocent and that is, you know, a playful moment and try to turn that in and spin a narrative. And let me tell y'all something. This is one of the reasons why so many people in our country go to jail when they're innocent, because they will take anything that you do and they will simply try to turn it and make it into something it doesn't need to be. Right. And that's what I saw when I saw him with that playful banner with that player's son. Come on. This is Michael Jordan we talking about. He is not known for being the most quote unquote faithful person. I'm just saying, if you know Michael Jordan's history, now I ain't going down there and you ain't gonna hear nothing from me. I'm gonna move it right on. But Michael, yeah. Children, no. But see, here's the funny thing. Y'all want to talk about the NBA player who's having a playful moment with a child, but you won't deal with your pastor who has had several instances and then made babies out of wedlock and did all this stuff. But you want to talk about Michael Jordan. I'm just saying, you excuse behavior that goes on in the institutional church, but you won't deal with your own pastor. I find that very, very interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, me personally, y'all please hit the like button. I've got 57 likes. Can y'all get me at least 10 more likes? I would really appreciate it. We kind of heading on up there. But yeah, that's the kind of the way I feel about that whole situation. Cindy is suing, and we're going to cover that right after this, ladies and gentlemen. So y'all hold on to your hats. We're going to talk about this a little bit. And we're going to talk about Cindy Clemishire and all of that. And then I'm going to drop the link so y'all can come up and we'll deal with Reverend Jesse Jackson and our tribute to Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Mad Church Disease, a channel that's all about current events, news, and Christian drama. A channel that's dedicated to our forgotten brothers and sisters throughout the ages. Our brothers and sisters who courageously stepped outside the safe bounds of institutional Christianity to tell the truth. A channel whose goal is to help the average person understand that Jesus plus nothing is everything. So like, comment, subscribe, and smash the notifications button to be a part of this channel.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving right along. Most of you are very familiar with this story. I've made numerous videos on this channel regarding this. Cindy Clemishire, who is the plaintiff in a defamation lawsuit because she is suing the former elders or some of the former elders of Gateway Church. Let me put on my glasses so I can read this, okay? Kevin Grove and Steve Doolin, the judge, Judge Emily Tobolsky of the Dallas County Courthouse, has allowed the lawsuit concerning her to move forward. They have been trying to deny Cindy Clemishire an opportunity to seek justice in the case against these elders of that church, and the judge has simply said, no, we're going to go ahead and move this case forward. She filed a $1 million defamation lawsuit against these leaders, okay? What she filed, it says, Kevin Grove and Steve Doolin sought to have Clemishire's lawsuit removed under the Texas Citizens Participation Act. Now, let me just tell you something. When it comes to these kind of lawsuits, let me tell you something. I'm really surprised that sometimes they invent ways to get rid of this stuff. Now, let me tell you what I want to say here. When you know you have done wrong to people, and you done messed over people, it's best for you to just not do that and to settle this stuff. Everybody in the public knows that you guys and that this man has already pled guilty to this situation about fooling around with this girl when she was, 12 years old, 13 years old. It would behoove you. It would behoove you to just settle this situation and move on. The act that they're going after, Dr. Blue, the act is intended to protect against meritless, retaliatory legal claims. How is this young lady's claim meritless? The man has already pled guilty. She has already shown and established, in my opinion, a pattern of behavior from this church that has completely decided that they did not want to tell the truth about the situation and tried to cover it up. Am I tripping here, ladies and gentlemen? Because, sometimes when I study this stuff and I read this stuff, I'll go, wait a minute. But the judge denied their request, so they ain't going nowhere. They stuck right now. Now, Grove and Doolin took leave of absence during the third-party investigation related to Robert Morris and Clemishire. The article that I'm pulling this from just simply gave that information. It says the legal proceedings and the investigation are ongoing. It is being handled in the Dallas County, Texas. And that's, of course, where Gateway Church is located. Okay. I want to just simply say this. This defamation lawsuit stems from allegations involving the Gateway Church as well as the leadership of the church. The church knew, and according to Cindy Clemishire and her attorneys in the lawsuit, that this church knew what was going on. All of us have seen this before. We've seen this beautiful being footage before, right? And so them filing this, I think, to me, is meritless. It's not going to go anywhere. And they just need to get this woman that $1 million. Now, let me tell you another reason why they need to get this girl this $1 million. Y'all, you mean to tell me y'all are in lawsuit right now fighting with Robert Morris to pay him his retirement, which I believe he's going to get. I'll be surprised if he doesn't get a portion of his. But you all wronged this woman. It has been shown to the public that you have wronged this woman. What is wrong with y'all just settling this and going about your business? Because I'm going to be frank with you, ladies and gentlemen. I think she deserves more than $1 million. That's just my opinion. I think she deserves more than $1 million. Can you imagine the kind of legal costs and expense that she's had to incur going after these people for not simply telling the truth? And it is amazing how people will fight all of these lawsuits and file lawsuits trying to avoid the truth. But let me just tell you something. At the end of the day, when you don't do right by people, it boomerangs and it comes back on you. And so I just simply want to tell you all, when it comes to this particular situation, Cindy Clemishire, not only does she deserve the $1 million, she, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, she deserves more than the $1 million. She deserves more than that $1 million. And y'all can tell me what y'all think about it, because I think she deserves more. I think she deserves more. I agree. Sue, Cindy, sue. Go, Cindy, go. And Stephanie is an attorney. Stephanie is, I call her my resident attorney when she shows up. And Stephanie, I'm interested to hear what you're going to have to say about this particular situation, CC. Yeah. And cousin, this is just what it is. It is what it is. Somebody said, no, it's sad. It is sad. And try to cover this stuff up. It really is. I don't care what y'all say. What father moves a man into his home when his daughter, it is sure enough better be the Lord. Well, here's the thing. I understand your point, Kimberly, and I agree on some level with your point. But here's the situation. Sometimes just in life, a lot of us have a trusting nature. A lot of us will trust the inherent goodness of others, and we expect for people to be morally succinct, especially when you're a Christian. A lot of times we lay down our guards with people because we trust them, and we trust them to have a level of moral character and decency that a lot of these people don't possess. Some of these people's motives are bad. Some of these people's relationship with God is just not intact. And as I am getting older, I am learning more and more. And I hate to say this, doing social media has made me very distrusting of people. Whereas I came on here to be my transparent self, People are expecting me to be something other than what I have shown you guys on the internet. Listen to me. This is who I am. Goofy, silly, getting mad sometimes, cuss you out if you push me too far. This is really who I am. But a lot of these preachers and Christians and folks that you invite into your home are wearing a mask. My God from Zion, I know I'm preaching good. They're wearing masks and they're pretending to be one thing when they're really something else. I'm just saying. Ladies and gentlemen, this woman absolutely deserves more money. She absolutely deserves more than $1 million. To me, $1 million is a small amount of them to pay for the things that they have done. Stephanie says it's sticky. Well, I'll be dropping the link in a minute. Stephanie, I need you to come up here and explain to me how it's sticky. I just wanted to get the money. I know it's wishful thinking or whatever, Steph, but for the love of God, Stephanie, this woman deserves more than $1 million for all the stuff that they've done to her. I'm just saying. But this is what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, the defamation lawsuit with Cindy Clemishire and Gateway Church has exploded even more. It is simply blowing up because they don't want to pay the money. And the people, let me tell you something. The people that were supposed to handle the situation all decided to take leave of absences and they got gone. And even though it has been said, and I believe that's one of the reasons why Robert Morris is in jail, that he told the board what he had done, and the board refused to deal with it. And therefore he's in jail, and therefore she filed this lawsuit for $1 million, and she probably won't even get $1 million. She probably might get, if she's lucky, she might get 500,000. She might even get 3 or 4. She ain't gonna get no $1 million. I'm just here to tell you that, because them lawyers, are gonna eat them fees up. I'm telling you that right now. They're gonna eat them fees up. Them fees are gonna be eaten alive. I'm just saying. Okay, those fees are gonna get eaten alive. I'm just saying, that's just how I feel. Somebody said $1 million. Well, she deserves, I think, to be honest with you, you want to know the truth? You want to know the real? You want from me? I think Cindy Clemishire deserves at least $20 million from these people. That's my opinion. She deserves $20 million. The lifelong abuse, the lifelong gaslighting, the lifelong denial, the even when they tried to warn the elders of the church and they tried to do things to make sure, that she brought awareness to this situation, and the amount of cover up that these people did to this woman. And can you imagine the mental anguish and the mental abuse that she had to deal with, knowing that her abuser was getting up in the pulpit every Sunday and preaching and teaching and telling all of these people, all while this woman had to suffer at his hands as a child. Now, you may not agree with me, but I'm here to tell you Cindy Clemishire deserves way more than $1 million. To me, $1 million is a small price to pay for this woman's stuff that she's gone through. And that's just my opinion. Now, see, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. This is a multi-million dollar church. This is a church that has hundreds of thousands of members, according to websites and other things that we've done and we've talked about on this channel. So $1 million? No. $1 million? No. I believe they can probably raise that $1 million probably in a Sunday. I guarantee you they could raise. It's a huge mega church. It's one of the biggest churches here in America. They shun that family. And they tried to keep these people from coming forward to tell the truth about what had happened to this lady. The bottom line is Cindy Clemishire deserves way more money than what they're saying that she deserves. And that's just what I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that's just where I'm at with it. Now, y'all pray my strength in the Lord, because I'm here to tell you that girl deserves way more money than that. Shout out to the 87 of you all watching. Can I get at least 7 or 8 of y'all to please hit the like button? I would really appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, God. This is a tough one for me. This is a tough one for me. Many of you may not know this, but Dr. Martin Luther King is probably one of my heroes. And that's why I don't take no disrespect about Dr. King on this channel. I was having a conversation. I don't know whether it was with the moderators or somebody this past week that I was having, but let me just simply say this. I respect Dr. King. I respect the work of Reverend Jesse Jackson. And my heart goes out to them, and I send my deepest condolences. Reverend Jesse Jackson is a key figure to the civil rights movement and the anti-poverty movement in America. I know most people don't even know we had an anti-poverty movement that is still going on yet to this day. I'm just saying, because people don't pay attention. Because, you know, if you eating good and you driving well and you got a decent job, you know, you just, you know what I'm saying? You just, and I'm just going to say this, whether or not this is true or not, I would just simply tell you this. We all have people that we work with that we don't like. Moving right on. What does that have to do with the cost of tea in China? Nothing. We all work with people we don't like, right? Period, point blank. Okay, I'm just saying. But key figures around the civil rights movement, of course, Dr. Martin Luther King, the Reverend Ralph Abernathy, Andrew Young, Jacqueline Lavina Brown, which is his wife, and his children, including Jesse Jackson Jr. and Jonathan Jackson. Okay. Let me simply say this. He has died, of course, at the age of 84. I was having a conversation with, I think it was the moderators, and we were talking about the complexities of being a civil rights leader in America and having to come to grips with the fact that these men were not perfect. When we discuss Dr. King and when we discuss Jesse Jackson, a lot of times it is always marred and scarred with the history and the complexities of their humanity, and having to come to grips with these men were imperfect men. They were trying to further the causes of African Americans in a country that even today is showing us how racist it is showing us their inequality towards any ethnic group really that's outside of white people. And Jesse Jackson has been a forebearer and has been someone who has spoken for the voices of African Americans and has fought and has taken many bumps and bruises for that cause. I want you to understand, ladies and gentlemen, his life's achievements. We're talking civil rights activism. He is a 2-time presidential candidate, 1984 as well as 1988. He is the founder of the Rainbow Push Coalition. His legacy, as though it was controversial, and he was an outspoken civil rights leader and advocate for marginalized communities, not just Black people, as I have said before, his legacy stands toe-to-toe with many, many people in this country. And I will forever, as a Black American, be grateful for the sacrifices, for the things that Jesse Jackson has done to further the cause for African Americans in this country. I may not have agreed with everything, but I respect what he has done and the contributions that he has made to this country for us. Many people do not understand that he was one of the individuals that helped to actually save some hostages. Y'all remind me, I can't right now in my mind, I'm trying to remember exactly where those darn hostages were. Were they in Cuba? I'm trying to think. There were some hostages that nobody could get these hostages, but because of who he is, he went and got those hostages removed. Somebody remind me where they were, because I might have said it earlier, but I can't remember right now. Okay, this gentleman deserves our respect. You may not, Bosnia, I think it was Dariel says Bosnia. Nobody could get those people out of Bosnia except for Jesse Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, the mad church disease, the revolutionary family, we salute the work, the legacy, the honor of the one and only Jesse Jackson. May you rest in peace, sir. May you fly well until that day. In Jesus' name, amen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to drop the link. You can come up and speak about any of the topics or subjects that we have covered. Stephanie, I'm most certainly dropping this link for you. Get yourself ready. I want to hear from you, especially Stephanie. You know what? I respect what you're saying, but I just told you, some of these comments, y'all need to slow down. We're not doing conspiracy theories. I'm not listening at all of that. We need to have some respect. As a Black person, it's important for me when you come to my platform that you respect the people that I am speaking about. Jesse Jackson was just now a guest on my program, whether you know it or not. Jesse is a guest. So I need for you to respect my guests and respect the people in my chat. Amen. Stephanie, the link has been dropped. If you would like to come up and give your thoughts, I would most certainly like to hear your thoughts regarding the Cindy Clemishire case. So I'm definitely dropping that link for Stephanie. Stephanie, get your hind parts up here, because you the legal expert. Because you said it's a little sticky, and I want to find out what's so sticky about it. But ladies and gentlemen, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Now, listen, I'm fine with you saying your comments. Just be respectful, people. Just be respectful. That's all I'm asking. That's it. And I don't want to introduce anybody to the Blocked and Blessed ministry. Okay. I don't want to do that. I don't want to introduce you to the Blocked and the Blessed ministry. All right. Our wonderful guest is here, Stephanie. You have the floor, because I am definitely listening to you at this point. I think Stephanie's still working out this mic. You got to unmute yourself, Steph. Can y'all hear Stephanie? Because I can't hear her. Let me put on my headphones. Wait a minute now. Stephanie, there's no microphone movement back there. You might want to go out and come back in, because I can't hear you if you're talking. Can y'all hear Steph? I don't hear nothing. Is it my mic? I can't hear a thing. Stephanie, go out and come back in, because we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Stephanie. Everybody says no, they can't hear you, because I couldn't hear you either. All right. We're going to try it again. All right. Looks like I can hear something. All right, y'all. Steph, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What it do? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and in color. Go ahead.
Or not color, whichever.
Or no, you colored. You colored. Listen here. I want you to go ahead and give me your thoughts on it. Let's start with Cindy Clemishire. What do you think about Cindy?
Okay, so here's where it gets sticky. It's a slap defense is where that's what this is. It's a slap defense, and a slap defense basically says that you can't be sued over things that are things that are said that are a matter of public opinion or public that are newsworthy or a matter of public concern, right? And basically, it's supposed to enable people to continue to have a certain level of freedom of speech and to rule out defamation lawsuits where it's basically where it would stifle a discussion of public matters, right? So it's basically to keep people from having to deal with big corporations. let's say if you would if somebody claimed in a lawsuit that Boeing.
Stephanie, we lost you. We lost you, Steph. We lost you. Oh my goodness. And that's just when it was getting good. Oh man. All right. What's up, Daryl? The one and only Daryl Moore. Thank you so much for joining me, sir. Doggone it, Stephanie. Your mic went out. Because I don't even see it moving anymore in the back office. So you probably gonna have to go out and come right back in, Steph. What is it with us as African Americans in this country right now? I don't understand it. The amount of profound disrespect we give the people that have come before us is annoying. Go ahead, Steph. You just unmute yourself when you're ready.
So it's essentially to protect people who are claiming they've been injured by a corporation from the corporation turning around and suing them for defamation, right? Gotcha. And so it's supposed to protect little people, normal people, from basically having to deal with lawsuits by expensive lawsuits that they can't afford the litigation, right? And so my cat.
Oh man! Oh, just when it was getting good, Stephanie, we can't hear you again. I think you better, Stephanie. You better
work out tonight.
Okay, there we go. Go ahead. I can hear you now.
Okay. And so what the sticky point is for me is when in cases where there are allegations of wrongdoing that are the subject of a criminal issue, of a criminal complaint.
Right.
I'm worried when there's a defamation suit attached to those, because what is your obligation, and what are the obligations of people who support you to admit or deny wrongdoing, right? I think, Sabrina Peterson sued T.I. when T.I. said she was lying about the trafficking, right? And so is it T.I., like, if T.I. is being accused of a criminal issue, does T.I. have to come out and incriminate himself, or else he's defaming the woman accusing him? That is kind of where it gets sticky, right? But here...
go ahead.
Here, he's already pled guilty, right?
Right, exactly.
And so I think it would have been better. The claim would have been a lot more strong, and she would have definitely gotten her money, and probably more than $1 million.
Right.
If she had been able to bring an actual injury suit for the harm caused by the actual assault, right? But she was outside the statute of limitations. And so that is why she has to go to defamation and intentional infliction of emotional distress, which is what she's suing for.
Okay. But I think she has merit there, because can you imagine the emotional distress of trying to tell people what happened to you? Because she came to them on more than one occasion, and they shunned her and her family. And so I think it has merit. If I was on the jury, I probably would have gave her the $1 million, or give her the $1 million. But
I think what I'm worried about as a criminal defense attorney, I'm worried that, I guess my concern, I'm not worried about it, but my concern is just that if my client denies allegations against him, is he opening himself up to a defamation lawsuit? What ability does he have to say, I didn't do this? This is I have certain defenses. I just don't know at what point does it become defamation to say that somebody is not telling the truth about you.
Well, here's the thing too. A lot of these so-called defamation lawsuits and all of this stuff that people file, in a lot of cases, what I think that they fail to realize is, you don't get to take flight and say these types of things. You do have to, because in this particular case, Stephanie, they went on vacation or took a leave. You know what I mean? But even though they were fully made aware of what the situation, and of course, according to what I read, it says that the act is intended to protect against meritless retaliatory legal claims. I don't think that her case is meritless. I believe that's one of the reasons why the judge let it continue, because I believe that there could be merit there. And I think just looking at it from the surface, it can be proven these people just took flight and ran away.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there's also some issues with, if they had just come out and said, if they had said nothing, let's say, or if they had even limited it to it's not true,
Right.
then they might have a defense. But saying that she was a young lady and that this was sexual inappropriateness, that's where
Right.
I think they got hung up, because that is, they mischaracterized it as being a young lady, and they essentially blamed her or said she had a role in it. Now,
Mm.
if they had just said, like, these claims are not true, or we're investigating them, we have some concern that they're meritless, or that they're not accurate, I think her defamation case would probably not go forward. But they said affirmative things that were very, you get in there and you just say, it's a young lady when it's a 12-year-old.
Right.
That's not the best thing. I would not, as a lawyer, I would not advise anyone to say that.
Right.
That's where they took a wrong turn. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, and I understand your statement as far as that's concerned. So that's shout out to you for that. And thank you for bringing some clarity to this, because of course I would never be able to do what you just did. So that was really good. But I just think, in my opinion, the man is behind bars. The church knows that they were culpable in not dealing with him in the beginning. I would have just paid her the $1 million. Listen, whatever happened to just being a decent Christian?
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
Just be decent. You flubbed up. You messed up. Just be decent and do what's right. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Gateway has such an incredible budget. I mean, can you imagine what $1 million is to them? I just
Nothing. A Sunday offering.
Exactly. And if they told their people, hey, we got a special, we need to plant a seed for a special something, that we're not going to tell you why, but we need some money. You know how many people would just run up there and
they would give it. They would give it. They would give it easily. That's why I said one offering, one offering, and it's done. So, and give her this $1 million and move on now. And to be honest with you, Steph, I don't even think the church is going to have to pay for it. It's probably going to be their insurance. It's the insurance that's going to cover this.
Right, because they have board insurance, they have, professional insurance. I'm sure they have misconduct insurance, liability, what is the malpractice? It's the equivalent of malpractice for me. I have malpractice insurance. It was whatever they have for, misconduct, essentially. And so I'm sure, they have that insurance. And so, it should not have taken a lawsuit.
Right.
Because now she has a risk of not being able to go forward, and then the church wins, and then they don't even have to give out of their own, Christian. They don't have to give it out of like a conviction by the Holy Spirit or anything, because they won in court.
Well, let me ask you a question, and I need to go research this. Did she sue Robert Morris for any money and win any money thus far? Because I thought the other case between him and her was just for him to admit what he did. She didn't sue him for any money yet, right?
I don't think so. I think she's just suing Gateway as an entity, or maybe not even Gateway, but just the board, the elders.
Yeah, because according to what my research says, it says she filed a $1 million defamation lawsuit against the church.
Right.
So it was the church that she's filed this against. Now, I would think, well, if the church doesn't want her to, if Robert gets his retirement, I don't know if you have the ability to go after a person's retirement portion, but I do believe that she has a right to go after him. That's just my opinion. So she most certainly should do that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead. I can hear you.
I don't know if she would have a defamation suit against him because of his, rights to defend himself.
Oh, that's right, because you said the statute of limitations. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. Go ahead.
And so I don't know if she would be able to sue him for ongoing intentional infliction of emotional distress, because he continued to. I don't know what the court would find his obligation to admit it.
Wow. I got you.
Yeah.
Well, now that is sticky. And now you done made me lean back in my chair, and I'm sitting here going, doggone it. So after all of these years, I guess the most she's going to get out of this is a 4-month prison sentence that he's going to get. You know what I'm saying? Because he's only going to go to jail for 4 months. I'm sorry. Let's do this. Hold on. This is the one. He's going to be in jail for roughly 4 months. Steph, I'm just having a little trouble understanding why this man is going to be allowed to get out of jail. I believe he gets out of jail when Brian Karn gets sentenced, I believe. I'm just saying. So one goes out and another one goes in. I'm hoping, I'm praying. Y'all pray. Agree with me. Glory be to the name of God.
I grew up in Oklahoma. I grew up in Oklahoma, not far from the county who prosecuted him. Yeah. And it just goes to show you the disparity of justice and the disparity in the administration of justice in Oklahoma. Because if this been somebody who wasn't man of God, I think he would have been a lot different. Right. It would have been a lot different.
Yeah.
Oklahoma wants to pass, the ultimate punishment for things like this, right?
Absolutely.
And so it would have been a lot different. I know people who, Oklahoma County, where I grew up, used to put the prosecutor who was there for like 30 years was the number 3 prosecutor in the country that gave out the ultimate punishment, right? There's only 2 other prosecutors who was able to sentence more people to the row, right? And so like that just shows you 4 months. Are you kidding me? Other people would have gotten life for this.
I know. And that's the crazy part. And see, this is the thing that I say. In society, we have an air or an illusion that because somebody is clergy, that they have a moral, thing attached to them. And we think of them as more moral individuals, when unfortunately, some of these people that call themselves bishop this and intergalactic that, they are some of the most least moral individuals amongst our society. And what proves that every day is the cases that I bring forward on this channel, the cases that I highlight and the things that we talk about. And unfortunately, in this country, it's unfortunate, but a lot of people like to cover for their bishops. They like to cover for their pastors. And when you speak against it and you give truth to power, they don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to handle it. But one thing I love about white people go for the gusto. They go for the gusto, Stephanie. Y'all don't be playing. Now, black people, we'll brush you off. We'll let you come back. We'll act like, you didn't have the babies, on the side. But then white folks will throw you out of the church. I'm just saying, now, some of them won't. But for the most part, you guys have a good track record, Stephanie. That's all I'm saying.
I'm going to disagree. Because people, the apostles and bishops over on, the prophets over on the Saltine types, right? The ones that look like me, in the New Apostolic Reformation are already welcoming Robert Morris back in. There was a couple of them who went over and took a picture outside the Osage County Jail saying like, we're ready for him to return to ministry. We're ready to restore him. He's been restored because he's repented. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Right. Well, Steph, let's take a look at a comment that just came in. Let's take a look at this. Somebody says she's not all that innocent because they tried to settle with her years ago, but she wouldn't settle. So she waited until he grew a multi-million-dollar ministry, and then she asked for a settlement. Well, your statement within itself is contradictory, sir, because you just said that she tried to settle with him that they tried to settle with her years before, but she wouldn't settle. So obviously she wasn't waiting, that they had been talking in settlement talks for some time. She didn't wait till he grew a multi-million-dollar business. Just based on your own statement alone, they tried to settle with her years ago, but she just didn't want to settle. Maybe the number wasn't at the place where she thought that it was a number that was comfortable for her and that she felt comfortable with. So your statement in itself doesn't even make any sense. And I'm sorry, Jay Combs, but that's just how I see it. And you're welcome to hit the link and show your face and come up here and give me a difference of opinion, because that's why I dropped the link. But I disagree. Stephanie, what do you say to that?
I think he's referring, or her, Jay Combs is referring to the settle. She did not want to settle until they would settle with her, but allow her to continue to tell her story. She was one of the ones, one of the victims of clergy abuse, church abuse, real church abuse. that were campaigning against the use of NDAs or confidential settlement agreements, either
Right.
one, to try to silence the victims from continuing to say what happened to them. Because usually in a settlement, you sign a confidentiality agreement saying that you won't speak about the settlement or the anything that anybody admitted to, or what the allegations were, what they settled for.
Right.
It's typically to not have to disclose the settlement agreement, but you also tend to write it to where people won't continue to talk about the case.
Right.
Now, I don't think usually that they apply to continuing to tell your story. I think you could say, like, I sued for this and that. It just kind of depends, and I think they wanted her to basically stop talking about it.
Pretty much. And
Yeah.
because most of the lawsuits are just to keep you from talking. But I think Lynn Pearson's question is correct. You got to be careful how you word it, because you're the way that it's worded, it makes it look like you're saying that she's not innocent because she refused to settle. And no, she is an innocent party in this situation, because let's keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that when this stuff happened to her, she was a little girl.
Oh my God.
You
Oh,
understand what I'm
that's
saying?
horrible.
When
That's
people
horrible.
right, when people say this, you're thinking of this lady. This is the lady that you're thinking about. But it wasn't this lady that had this to happen to her, ladies and gentlemen. It was this little girl. And this is the thing that I always want to keep at the forefront of the situation, because I think when you get older and you appear a certain way, people neglect to remember that we're not talking about a grown woman that this happened to. We're talking about a child that this happened to, and this deserves all full, in my opinion, commentary. It deserves our respect. It deserves, I think, Cindy Clemishire deserves our respect for simply fighting, continuing the fight, not giving up on the fight. And obviously, she was telling the truth, because whether you like it or not, ladies and gentlemen, he is now in jail. So you can be as mad as you want, talking about she not innocent. What the heck do you mean she's not innocent? And not innocent how? Not innocent how? She was 12 years old. Oh, well, they tried to settle with her. And see, this is the thing, Stephanie, that when it comes to abuse, that drives me nuts. People like to talk about this as if you're a person who has been abused, or you're a person who has taken abuse from folks, and that once you become an adult, because they don't understand the traumatizing nature of abuse, in most people's mind, they just want you to move on.
Right.
Get past it. Get on with yourself. Now, I told you guys, even in regards to this McNutt fella, that most abuse victims speak on a frequency that most people cannot hear or understand. Cindy Clemishire, as a 12-year-old girl, was abused. It's not alleged. It's not if a woulda, coulda. He pled guilty. Let's keep that in mind. Thank you, Lynn. He pled guilty. And this is this. Let me tell you, Stephanie, and this is what I've become so much more passionate about as of late. The way we treat victims and having someone's voice, it is so necessary for someone always to speak on behalf of the victims. People are always trying to shut the mouth of the person who speaks up for the victim. You listen to me, and you listen to me very carefully. I am not going to shut my mouth. I will not let people shut my mouth. And let me tell you unequivocally, I will fight to every breath in my body is gone for people who have been victimized in the institutional church and people who have just been victimized in society. And if you don't like it, I'm going to tell you, like Ric Flair said, you better learn to love it, because diamonds are forever, and so is the Mad Church Disease channel. You better put it down, and you better make a note, because I ain't going nowhere. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, right on. Every word of that. It's unreal. When I was 12, I was in the 6th grade. The 6th grade. The 6th grade.
Yeah.
I didn't even turn 13 until I was in 7th grade.
Right.
I was in the 6th grade. Most people are in the 6th grade when they're 12. When I was 22, I got my college degree. Now, can you imagine a 22-year-old with somebody in elementary school?
Right.
How does that even? How do you How do you do that? I don't even know how you come to, unless you are just a sick, and I don't want to curse on your channel, but you know what I'm about to say.
Right. Well, help yourself, because I've been trying not to do it. I'll let you say it.
Sick motherfucker, and if there really
Pretty
is
much.
I might lean towards annihilation a little bit, but if there
Right.
really is an honest, fiery brimstone place, he's gonna feel it real. It's gonna be hot. You better get used to that Oklahoma heat in that penitentiary, because they're not air conditioned, because it's about to get real worse than that.
Absolutely. And I'm interested to hear, because I don't know if you saw my story I did a couple of days ago. They're already talking about restoration and restoring him. So I'm like,
the people of the New Apostolic Reformation in our, which is that's white people typically. They're taking pictures outside the facility he's in, saying like, we're getting ready to welcome him home, and he's been restored because he's already restored because he's repented. That's not the same thing.
Right. Listen, I agree with you 1000%. And thank you so much for coming up. Steph, do you want to give commentary to anything else? Because we got our Michael Jordan, as well as Reverend Jesse Jackson, if you want to say any thoughts about that.
Congratulations to Michael Jordan for, and I can call them hillbillies because I'm a hillbilly. So congratulations to Michael Jordan for making room in a sport that is typically not only the bastion of white folks, but the bastion of racist white folks. Let's just be clear. Let's just be real with it. And so good job on him for making room in a sport for people who are not typically who've been prevented from taking part in that sport. Good work.
Right.
And then Jesse Jackson, I will say that I think he's his appearance on Sesame Street, when he taught the little kids the poem "I Am Somebody,"
right,
and had them repeat "I am somebody," that I remember seeing that when I was little, and that made a huge difference in my brain. And as I grew up, that changed the way my brain was wired. Honestly. Seeing him say that, and seeing the kids that most of them didn't look like me repeating that was really, really important. And I'm glad I saw that. So Jesse Jackson has always been, I've always remembered that, him being on Sesame Street. And then I met him, it was just a handshake, but he came to Oklahoma in 2001 when Oklahoma gave the final penalty to 8 people in 1 month. Wow. And the first one, it was a bloody January. And the first one was a Black lesbian named Wanda Jean Allen.
I remember Wanda Jean. Yep. And to me, let me just stick a pin there. Sure. Since you brought it up, they should have never executed Wanda Jean. Do you hear me? Yep. Wanda Jean had mental deficiencies. I don't care what they say. They can tell me whatever they want to, but that woman she had mental issues. And so I they should have never did what they did to Wanda Jean. But I'm sorry, because every time you talk now, that will really make me mad. But go ahead. I'm sorry, Stephanie.
No, and we had a march, and and I honestly can't remember if I got arrested at this one or not, because I got arrested doing this a few times in Oklahoma. They blocked the sidewalk, and that is criminal trespass, right? So it was what do you call that? Whatever. When you get arrested with peaceful whatever.
Right.
And he was one of the ones that did that. And so really, he didn't have to come down to Oklahoma for that, but he did.
Right. And that just speaks volumes to the character and the nature of the individual. Darielle, you are now live with the Mad Church Disease podcast.
What's going on, y'all? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can.
There you go. It's coming out. I'm going to call you right back. Give me 1 second.
All right. Well, shout out to Reginald, who just supported the Mad Church Disease channel by way of PayPal. Thank you so very much, Reginald. Let me get over here so I can tell you, for those of you that are looking to support the channel, please do so. You guys know every time we go live, we ask at least 10 of you guys to support the broadcast. And Reginald has just supported the broadcast. Let me see. Oh, goodness gracious. Y'all know I be all the way around. Okay, so that's So now we only need 8 more of y'all to support the channel. So shout out to Reginald for supporting the channel. Reginald helped us out tonight. So we now only need 8 more of you guys. So I appreciate y'all for doing that. All right, Steph, go ahead.
No,
You was cut off.
I'm completely. I'm good. I'm good. I want to make room for Daryl.
All right, go ahead, Daryl, whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'm here. What's going on, y'all?
What's going on, sir?
I was just going to reiterate on your thoughts on Robert Morris. I think that he needs to stay in jail for the rest of his life. I think that we as a Christian community, I believe in redemption and restoration, but children are off limits. It is what it is. I there's no defense of that. And for everyone trying to like defend him, I need y'all to look in the mirror and reflect on what you're defending.
Oh my goodness! Did somebody say his wife is in my chat? Now wait a minute. Well, not Robert Morris, but this is Janice Petty. It says Janice Petty. I am Reginald. I am. What does it say? His wife Janice Petty. Am I understanding this correctly? Y'all help me out. Y'all let me know, because I ain't trying to. I'm not. Yeah. So y'all make sure I'm getting that right. But go ahead, Daryl. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. I just wanted to just reiterate that and to agree with Stephanie. Like, you have to have a sick mind to mess with children. It's just they're off limits.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, that's the way I feel about it. And like I said, everybody just don't understand that she wasn't no grown up when this stuff happened to her. And I don't care what nobody says. That's just where I'm at with it. I think as far as the stuff that we have discussed and the types of conversations that we have on this channel, and shout out to his wife and the Jackson family. I appreciate you guys. And I think we've got to do more to lift up your hands. But also, I want to find out who also is going to turn over, and I need to go do some research, because, Frederick Haynes, I thought was supposed to be taking over Rainbow Push, but something had happened there. I remember he got sick also.
He's running for Congress right now, so I doubt that's going to happen.
Yeah. But I think we need to we need to really keen in on legacy and people being able to transition and keep some of these organizations around for years and years. Because one thing I'm noticing is we're not really good with passing the mantle to the next generation.
No.
We're struggling in that area, and we've got to really focus in on, especially when it comes to these types of organizations who meant so much to the society at large. But here's another thing that I'd like to say too, and this is just to all of you all. I think as a community, we also need to embrace and understand and not be afraid to embrace technology. One of the things that our culture and the church culture at large, when I say our culture, I mean Black culture and then the church culture, because there's two different cultures there, right? But we need to embrace technology, and we need to use technology to our advantage. As far as I'm concerned, the NAACP should have the address of every Black person in America. A lot of these Black-owned organizations, regardless of whether they support them or not, they should have their address. They should be compiling a database and keeping a database updated, because let me tell you something. These people are actively working to steal from us, steal elections, do all sorts of things. Think it not strange, ladies and gentlemen. This stuff is about to get really interesting, and we need to take the best of us and start using technology to our advantage. And pastors, leaders, you all are behind the curveball. And I done said this a million times. Y'all always last to do everything. You didn't even figure out that you needed to be online and having church services online until COVID. It's just ridiculous. But I'm sorry. I know I just went on a rant right there. But it just makes me mad, because church folks is always last on everything.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Daryl.
I want to add, as you commemorate Reverend Jackson, I had the pleasure of meeting Reverend Jesse about, I think, 10 years ago. He came to my church, and we just sparked up a conversation. I was doing my volunteer work, and I was talking about helping kids less fortunate for Easter. And he opened up his pocketbook and gave me $200 right then and there and said, keep up the good work. And
Wow.
he said, that's the first thing I did in ministry was helping the kids. So you're on the
Wow.
right track. So I'll never forget that. And say what you want to say about him, as a person. Nobody is perfect. We are all imperfect people striving for perfection.
Right.
But this man gave his life up until he was unable to even walk any longer for
Wow.
the plight of people of color around the
Absolutely.
world, not just in America, but around the world. Go and look
Absolutely.
up his efforts as an advisor to presidents. Like this man literally, as you said earlier, was rescuing people from countries. You don't even
Absolutely.
talk about that.
Right. Absolutely. And I just think as a people, I am most certainly demanding that all of us respect and keep a level of respect when it comes to these leaders, because they're becoming few and far between, because as you guys can see, we now got African Americans who are talking as stupid can be, because they want to lean on as many conspiracy theories. And let me just say this: the humanity of these men does not negate what they have done for us as a society and as a people, at large. And I'm so sick of people focusing just on what you deem to be a flaw in others in order to diminish the work and the contribution of Black people in this country. It's sickening, because I feel like when you are participating in that kind of foolishness, you are trampling on the legacy of the hard work that African Americans have done in this country, and I will not stand for it. There are other people's channels you can go do that on, but it will not be done on my channel. So don't come over here with that foolishness, because I'm gonna give you a blocked and a blessed ministry. I'm gonna bless you in Jesus' name and block you at the same time.
And let me also say this, and this is something you talk about technology. I'm going to add something further. The Black church needs to invest in the young folks. And they need to stop looking at us as villains or as contrarians and work on investing in us. The Rainbow Push Coalition in Chicago was invested by Reverend Clay Evans in the Fellowship Baptist Church, because Reverend Jackson was his youth pastor. That man invested in Reverend Jackson.
Right.
Dr. King invested in Reverend Jackson. He was 21 years old at North Carolina A&T. I'm saying all that to say, in order for the next leadership to come in, the elders need to invest in the youth. Stop looking at us as a threat and look at us as a solution.
Yeah. But let me tell you something. Oh man, now Dariel, you done started something right there. It's so sad. The reason why they look at the young people as a threat is because we have a church full of narcissistic leaders.
Mm-hmm.
These leaders, if they spot a gift in you, if they see a calling in you that they don't have, instead of them being able to push you forward and push you up, they're jealous and they try to squash out what God has invested in you. And it's unfortunate that we have so many leaders like that amongst all ethnic groups and colors. But you need to understand, but I believe that God, now this is just me personally, I believe God is raising up some young people who are just going to not even care. They're going to go ham and they're going to speak truth to power. And some of it is going to look disrespectful to a lot of us. See, let me explain something to you. When people call themselves all kinds of things, bishop, apostle, because some people think that I am being disrespectful because I call these people by their names. And some people think that, oh, Marcellus is just dishonoring these people, etc. No. What I'm trying to let you understand is that God put us all on the same playing field and level playing field. They don't have no supernatural anointment or power that you do not possess. The Bible is very clear. The Bible says that God has given us the ability to go boldly to the throne of grace that we may obtain mercy in the time of need. Jesus made it very clear that it was not for him to give who sits on God's left or sits on the right. It was not up to him, right? Jesus said when it comes to positions, he don't that ain't his thing. He made us very clear about that. He even took us in Matthew chapter 23. I hate to go here. He said we need to watch out for all of these people that put on all of these and phylacteries and all of this long garments and walk around the city and love to be called rabbi, teacher, apostle, mother, whatever title you want to give them. But see, to you, that sounds strange because we've been so indoctrinated with this foolishness that to just put these people on a human level, it scares you to death. But I keep trying to tell you that Jesus plus nothing equals everything. You don't have to like it, but it is just the way that it is.
Amen.
Yeah, that's just the way that it is. I'm sorry. That's where I'm at. So I'm sorry. I had a moment, but you all, that's how I feel when it comes to this stuff. Shout out to Stephanie. Shout out to Darielle coming up. I appreciate both of you guys. Would you guys like to have any final thoughts before I get out of here? And I know I came on early. Y'all need to make sure y'all hit y'all notification button because I no telling when I might pop up. Especially nowadays, I be busy.
Just to build off what you said about everyone being equal in the church, everybody having the same position before Jesus. I think that's how Robert Morris ended up. I think that's the reverence for him, if you want to say that. The deference to his quote unquote anointing or his abilities or his his line to God, his direct line to God. When he said you needed to give, he was hearing the voice of God. The conversations he'd have with the Holy Spirit. All these things are done to elevate him and to get your money. Essentially, a lot of that was to get your money, but it was also to hide these things that had been going on for years, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
That's why he needed that power, was so that nobody would ask him any questions.
Absolutely.
So this is how we get there where we have ministers go into prison for abusing children. It's because they got so much power off us that we never asked them any questions. We never looked at them side eye. We never suspected anything. When they said nothing was wrong and this was just a inappropriate sexual relationship, we believed them.
Right.
That's how they get there. So I appreciate you having me up. And as always, I really do appreciate it. And Darielle, you have a good evening. And Marcellus, thank you.
You're so very welcome, Stephanie.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming up. It means the world to me when you hit that link and you come up and give us a different side of things, to the legal twist of things. And even when we disagree, I appreciate you coming up. It means the world to me. And I don't just say that with my lips. I really mean what I say to you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate you too.
You're welcome. Darielle, you got the floor, sir.
Well, I got nothing else to say. I mean, to your point, just keep the Jackson family lifted in prayer. We lost a figure and a powerful leader in civil rights, but they lost a father and a husband
Absolutely.
and a grandfather.
Absolutely.
And let's remember that too, that he was still an individual. And keep his wife. They've been together almost 65 years or something like that.
Right.
So
they've been together a long time.
Yeah, so I know that's a lot for her, and she has her own health challenges too, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I appreciate every single one of you. Stay where you are, Darielle. Thank you all for joining me for the Mad Church Disease channel, along with the Cindy Clemishire versus Gateway Church situation and the defamation lawsuit. I appreciate you guys honoring me and spending this time with me. Please share this broadcast. Post this on your social media. Don't just be somebody who watches the program, but share it with your friends so that they can hear what we've talked about. Darielle, stay put. I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all so very much. And for those of you that are supporting and are going to watch this replay, please continue to support the broadcast. I appreciate you and thank you so very much. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. Please make sure that you hit the like button and please make sure that you subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the bell icon and make sure you press all notifications so that way you will never miss any of the exclusive content that comes on my channel. Make sure that you never miss a video. Now, I try to go live every day about 2:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is about 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. And then I come back at night at around 8:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is about 10:30 Eastern Standard, with some more exclusive content. So if you want more Mad Church Disease show content, we'd love for you to become a member, a revolutionary member of our channel. Please make sure that you hit the join button that's right next to the subscribe button or somewhere around here so that you guys can receive access to special community posts. You guys get all of the access to my community only lives, because we've got some sipping chats that we're going to be doing, and you guys will get exclusive content. So just make sure that you head on over to the channel page, click on the join button, and make sure that you do that. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate your love and support, and I'll see you on my very next video.
We are Mad Church Disease, helping you understand that Jesus plus nothing is everything. This is a show for everyone, believers and non-believers, from churched to the unchurched. Help us grow the channel by supporting our non-profit causes and create more consistent content. Donate by Cash App or PayPal, or buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com.